Chuck, KK6USY. Welcome to Ham Radio Ventures. Recently, we had Michael, KB9VBR, on our Coffee and Ham Radio live stream. Michael does a lot of POTAs and some great videos. He doesn't just give you the contacts, he gives you information about every place that he actually does his POTA at. But after the show, we decided to exchange antennas. Now, we sent him one of our antenna kits from Coffee and Ham Radios. All the links will be in the description, guys. And that was an Impala, which is an end-fed half-wave kit. Michael sent us one of his 2-meter J-poles made out of copper, but his has a twist. Let's check it out. Now, shipping can be a big problem when you ship stuff. Anybody that sells stuff that ships it, shipping's expensive. Michael's 6-foot antenna comes in a box this size, and I think Michael's got the shipping part down. He knows what he's doing there. He's been doing this for a long time. So, like I said, this antenna has a twist, and we're going to show you exactly what the twist is. So it comes in packages nicely. I've actually unpackaged this already. It comes in 2 pieces, guys. Now this thing has, let me bring it up close to you guys and show you what it is. Okay, on one side here it has a threaded section, and the other side is the section that mates to that. And they go together, okay? Now, Michael doesn't say this, but I would, if you were gonna take this someplace where you're gonna put it up and down all the time and make it smaller and, you know, put it together each time, I might use a little of the grease, you know, the dielectric grease, because it does, these are pipe threads, they don't really go in a long ways, but they get pretty tight. Now, as you can see, the full antenna is almost as tall as me. So pretty smart idea by Michael, and I'm sure it saves everybody in the long run. Him and who, well, actually the person that's buying it, because shipping is cheaper. Because once you get to that 4 foot or bigger, it costs a lot more, guys. So Michael's done a really great job with this. Now, when Michael was on our show, we talked about the antennas, and he says you can either take these antennas, shine them up real nice, and put a clear coat finish on them, or you can just let them set out and get that nice copper patina, all right? Let me show you one other thing, and this is the hard part. Michael does this also. I didn't do this on my Slim Jim. I did something different. As you can see, Michael solders the connection right to the thing. He says you have to do this really fast, and I have to say, Michael's done a nice job of soldering and cleaning up his solders. If you don't clean up solders, it usually tarnishes the copper. So he's done a really good job with that also. Now, we will go to his site, and I'll show you what it's about. We'll give you, like I said, in the description, there'll be a link to that. And if you haven't heard of Michael's antennas, you obviously have never Googled 2-meter J-poles, because he's pretty famous for them. Now, this bottom section from here down is just a mount, and you can mount that to a metal pole. Make sure you look at his site and watch his video on how to mount these. He uses a couple hose clamps and hooks it right to a metal pipe, and he says that's fine as long as it's below the top part. The resonating section is up here. I'm trying to get up as high as I can. I'm gonna hook it to a painter's pole. That's all I have available right now. And I just happened to get a new one. I might be able to get it up higher for this. But we're just listed around the 2-meter band around here. Usually it's pretty lively, but every time I want to do a video, it's not. So, and then later we might take this out and test it someplace else, portable. All right, let's get started. All right, guys, so this is Michael's site here, KB9VBR Antennas. Like I said, I'll leave that in the description for you guys. And so shop here now. We're just going to go down, show you the front page here. It's a picture of Michael talking, and it just has a bunch of his different videos right here. So we're going to go back up, and the antenna we got is a 2-meter antenna. We're going to click on that. Now it says $46 to $50, and I think if you click here and you collect in, I think that changes to $50. So if you're really serious about it, I guess the N is actually the way to go. I usually just go with the SO239, and that's $46. Okay, and he has, looks like you can do PayPal or Venmo checkout. And if you go down here, it looks like, oh, there's a coupon. I don't know what that means. So you might click on that also. Well, let's just click on it and see what it says here. It says, yes, you're eligible.
So I don't know what that means. So we'll just go back here. It shows the specifications up here. He basically talks about rugged constructions, picks up weak signals, no need to retune, balance for communicating with stations slightly above the horizon line, 2 meter amateur band. And then he goes down into some of the specifications down here. If you look down here, it shows you that he goes into this and talks about how to install it. And if you notice, he is on a metal pole, and there's a couple of hose clamps. I just didn't have any hose clamps. Make sure you watch that if you purchase one of these. And then he talks about, if you look, he's got the little clip-on ferrites here. Actually, I think that's a better way to go than the one I had. The one I had doesn't really work good for this application, but it would work. Or he goes on to talk about it like coiling up the coax also. Now, you guys remember on 2 meter, you're going to use the best coax you did. The higher in the bands you go, the more loss there is. So I just thought I'd show you this. He also, we'll go back, he sells a 462 megahertz, an aviation airband one, and a weather one. Weather and railroad, it says. And he sells other stuff there too. So make sure you check out his website.
Oh, by the way, you might want to also check out Coffee and Ham Radios in the near future, because we're going to give this antenna away. All of us already have one. We want you guys to have one too. And if you don't win one, make sure you go to Michael's store and pick yourself up one. In the description, guys. If you look at the 2 meter band, it says 144 to 148, 144 to 144.1 is that's the CW range, what they recommend for CW. So we're just going to go to 144 and 148 and see how this goes. Now, I only have this thing up at 8 feet. I'm sure if it was even higher, it would be even better on the SWR, but it's still, I mean, if that's all you can get it's still going to work here, guys. So let's go down to 144. Okay, we're pretty close to 144. So right there, it's 1.4. 1.3 at 144.7, oops, or 144.8. 146, roughly, it's 1.3. 147, 1.4. And 148. Give or take, it's 1.5. So it looks like it's right, this thing looks smack dab right in the middle on the lowest SWR. Now, where it's most resonant at is right around 147.2. So that's where your X is actually close to 1, almost 0 there. So this thing checks out really good, and like I said, guys, if you get this thing up 30 feet or so, it's probably going to be even better.
I don't think it's gotten to a healthy point. So, what are you going to do today? Are you going to crush rocks? Are you going to play in the sand?
Looks like it's picking that up pretty well. Like I said, this thing's only, I mean, at the bottom of it's at 8 feet, guys. Let's just scroll around and see if we can find something else. Here's some more here.
Connected.
Wow, look at that signal. I don't know where that's at. I can look it up maybe if I have my phone here. I would say this thing at 30 or 40 feet probably really works well. I'm kind of in a hole here, so not the greatest for 2 meters. I found that out when I work on sideband here. If I go up on the hill behind my house, I do way better with less antenna.
It is 73 where I sit. 2 mile an hour wind, 29.97 the barometer, and the humidity is at 52%.
Wow, he is
Back to you, Ken.
almost 50 over. So that's a repeater.
Okay, we got 72 on the porch. Well, so far the morning is scale of 0 to 10, about a 1 on my back. So, but I'm tending to it, just enjoying literally a pain-free day. We'll see how it goes.
One's in Vacaville. That was probably Vacaville, which, wow, that's like really, really strong. And that's 30 miles. All right, guys, I just got a good idea. You know how testing can be on or off, but there's a guy lives in Katati, across the bay from me, 50-ish miles, something like that, maybe a little farther, a little less. I'm not exactly sure. I'll look it up, hopefully, once I find out exactly where he lives. And he is on 520 a lot, 146, 520 a lot. So every time I go out there, he'll give me a call back every time, almost every time I've been on 520. When I was trying to get Hayden, I talked to the guy. So I'm going to test that. I'm going to take my FTM 500, and I've got a half-wave antenna on the roof that does really well. It's a diamond, and I'll take that, and then we'll compare it to this. And I'll probably only leave this about the same height that it is now. I already have it set up that way, except that I may have to take it off to get it in the truck, but hopefully I don't have to do that. And we'll set them up, and it'll be about the same height. I think my truck, on top of my truck, is about the same height. So that'll be a fair test. So I'm gonna try and go do that test, guys. Hopefully the guy's around, and we'll see how that works and how they compare. And remember, this is a great antenna for camping and everything too. You guys can take it, if you could get it up, 20 feet while you're camping, or even 15, 20 feet. Painter's pole. I have it on a painter's pole right now. I've got one coming. It's not here yet. That goes to 24 feet. I don't know how strong it is at 24 feet with that, maybe with a couple guy lines. So it's a great option, especially with that part where it unscrews in the middle. All right, I'm going to try and get out there today and see if I can get a hold of that guy and test this thing out.
Whoops, got clobbered by something there, but I'll try again when I get out in the open.
WA6JYU. This is KK6USY again. I was messed up before. I didn't have all the antenna on the J-pole. So this is my truck antenna, the half wave on the truck. And I will switch on the next one to you if you can get a reading there. So I'm going to get off and then I'll switch it back. Okay, now this is a J-pole, KK6USY to WA6JYU. Any stronger now that I actually have all the antenna together?
Yeah, you went from a 7 on the bar graph to a good solid 9 on the J-pole. But anyway, we're
that's the J-pole.
hydrated. LA and 6 PFH good afternoon. What you got to do?
A little better on the J-pole. All right, guys. Now, if this is an antenna you're looking for, you guys make sure you check out Michael's site for where he sells the antennas, and also check out his channel if you don't know it already. You probably already know it. He's pretty big in the ham radio community. Really nice guy. We've had him on Coffee and Ham Radios twice now, and it's always a great show, and we get a lot of people watch. I will leave that in the description, link to both his store and his channel down there also. So hopefully you guys got something out of this, and hopefully it's something you're looking for. The price, I have to tell you, the price is pretty doggone good for an all copper antenna. I mean, look at what a diamond or something like that costs you. Sometimes they're I think this is a straight 2 meter, but that's all I ever use anyhow. So check it out. The price is really good. I don't know, he must buy in bulk. Or maybe in Wisconsin, copper's cheaper than it is here. Most likely it is. So hopefully you got something from the video. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me today. I'm Chuck, KK6USY for Ham Radio Venture 73 all, and hope to catch you guys on the airwaves.